Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I know this is kind of random, but I've had requests of videos, and I've had a last 2 days I've done really well personally. So let's share the wealth. Now, keep in mind when I say that, I'm hitting single bets and winning lots, well, good amounts of money, not lots, but we all know I preach singles and parlays are scams. Okay, just wanted to start with that part. Anyway, I'm gonna do some soccer today. We're gonna do NHL and then maybe basketball. I haven't even looked at the games. I have absolutely no idea who's even playing. One thing I wanted to go over with NHL is how I make my picks and why I'm okay at it. I'm not like a genius, but one thing I'll point out, or the one of the main things really. So the Wild have a lot of just look at basically injuries. So the Wild have a lot of injuries. Two of their main guys, two of their main. Well, Eck used to be one of their main goal scorers, but he's not really anymore because literally he's always hurt. Last year he was hurt a lot too. But Boldy's hurt. Boldy and Eck. So 2 games ago, not this. This was yesterday. Tarasenko scored the first goal and another goal. The previous game, he did the same exact thing. He scored the first goal and another goal in the second period, and I had him for 1 and 2 in that game. And it $10 on two paid 260. Like his odds are still really juiced, even though you basically just pay attention to injuries, is what I'm saying. So what you'll do is we'll go fresh here. This will show yesterday's games, but go to today's games, click Gamecast. This is just all on ESPN. I find ESPN just kind of the most user friendly, I guess you can call it. And this will tell you the injury report right here. Just the main guys. There could be more because you can click full injury report. But this is just the main guys that you want to know are out. Like that's their starting goalie, who I don't think he's played all year for the Leafs. But obviously the Red Wings don't have any injuries, which is actually quite impressive. But Nylander being out is huge for the Leafs, obviously, because he's one of their best goal scorers. So that obviously makes Matthews a fantastic pick, and I believe he did score their last game. But it just expands who you can pick that you normally wouldn't, and it makes guys with like, as I call home run odds, much better picks. So let's find an example. Like this Easton Cohen guy, he's been actually really good lately for scoring. So don't be afraid. You can pick him. Um, Going down to these like plus 1,000 guys it's really hard to figure out in hockey. I usually don't pick them, but Cohen, if that's how you say his name, I don't even know. Obviously, like I said, Matthews, and he's still even plus money, which is nice. The Red Wings aren't bad though, but if I'm going to trust anyone, it's going to be like Matthews or Tavares. Knees is fine. Any of these top guys are fine. But if you're looking for better odds, I would go Cohen or Domi, something like that. I think Robertson scored their last game. But that's one thing I look for. I know a lot of people in my Discord are looking for uh, a center, like a team that gives up a lot of goals to the center or left wing, right wing, blah blah blah. I'm okay with it. Everyone has their own strategies. I've never ever once in my life researched like that in hockey before, so I don't do that, and I don't change. I'm not going to change how I research because I'm up like $700 last couple of days, so I feel pretty good about how my picks work out. Also, the Red Wings 3-2, 3-2, 6-3. They're killing the Leafs this year, working on the sweep. But yeah, that's mainly how I do it. Let's just look at, I mean, I'll be honest, this game, like, look at this. They got Terry on IR, they got Carlson out. We know Frankie V, he's actually been out for a little while, yeah, almost a full month. Um, Avalanche, it doesn't really matter who's out for them. They're just, you can just take Avs players, especially at home, too. Like, they probably should obliterate the Ducks here, but there's no guarantees, obviously, in anything like this. But with the way the Avs are playing at home, I always love McKinnon. Like McKinnon, this is a good example of where you can just stack McKinnon for pretty much everything. Three is completely up to you. I don't think plus 2,000 is worth it for 3 goals. It's really hard to hit, but you can stack even minus 148 for 2 points. That's actually kind of crazy. Obviously, he's going to be high for an assist, but you can stack his. So even 3 points is only plus 220. Jeez. 3 assists, 630. Okay, that's better. But this is just you can ladder them, is what I'm saying. You can, and these are all singles. So you can take them all in singles. Theoretically, you could parlay this if you wanted to, but I don't think I would put 3 assists in it though. I would take 3 assists out and maybe put 1 assist in and then parlay it and hope you just have to hope he gets 2 goals and 2 assists though. So that would be tough. But yeah, I wouldn't parlay the assists in something like this. Um, but realistically, this could hit against the Sharks. I don't, or the Ducks. I'm sorry, I always get them confused. Um, and then for fun, I sometimes I like taking like Manson and who's the other guy? Where'd he go? Well, Burns is a good choice too. For just for longer shot guys, Burns and Manson. There was another guy. I just don't. Oh, Sam Malinsky. There he is. He's put. See, their odds are shot. Normally they'd be like plus 1,100 or plus 1,200, but since they're at home playing the Ducks, they just guess what? Oriole needs to go outside. They kill their odds when they're at home just because they're so good. All right. Um, I guess we'll just do soccer second. So let's continue NHL, but we're gonna restart. Okay, this is a restart. So yesterday I was helping someone with picks. See, people DM me a lot. Don't try not to. I'm not saying DM me all day, but I the Devils Oilers game, the over under was plus. It was 6.5, but the over was plus odds. Now, I'm not saying avoid that, you know. I'm not saying you have to avoid that. I actually think this game could be higher scoring, but just be careful when the over is plus odds. Like the Capitals game. Actually, to be honest, I think the Capitals can score 6 or 7 goals in this game. The Canucks are terrible. Um, but the Caps are just, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with them. Just they're not as good as they should be. But the Canucks are on like what 11, 12, I don't even know. They're on a huge losing streak right now. Um, but the opposite of this, look at this, minus 140 to go over 6.5 because they know this game is more than likely going to be high scoring. That's why this is a great game to target. Aside from the fact that we know the Avs are really good at home, and you know one thing, the Achilles heel to the Avs is their power play kill. So if the Ducks get a power play, there's a good chance they could score a goal or two or three, depending on how many they get. The Avs are terrible on the power play. So they're not perfect, that's for sure. They need to figure that out. But that's one thing I look at is the over under, and then obviously, let me pull this up. I hate this website, but whatever. So I'll look at which goalies are starting. So right now the only confirmed is John Gibson for the Wings. Yeah, literally the only confirmed. And then a quick way. Where are the oh wow, I'm slow. And then just for reference, I'll look at their stats. So he's 19, 9, and 1, and he's only allowed 2.7 goals a game, which is really good actually. He's had a solid year. Anything 3 or over, I consider not great. But with that said, depending on injuries, things like that, like the Leafs have been pretty bad lately when they have Nylander out and certain players out that play good defense. It's not only the goalie that plays defense, by the way. Your team has to play defense too. Like if they make a mistake and then the goalie has a 1v1 versus a guy who Nathan McKinnon, he's probably going to score the goal. You can't just blame the goalie for everything. It's kind of like everyone blames the quarterback in the NFL. No, that's not anywhere near the realm of, why a team might lose a game. You can't always blame the quarterback unless they throw like five stupid interceptions like CJ Stroud. I mean, yeah. So anyway, so we see who's gonna, play goalie wise. I mean, I'm just saying it helps to know because if it is like yesterday, I mentioned Kempe on the Kings. I absolutely loved it. Like I should have put my life savings on Kempe to score the first goal. Like I don't know, 18 seconds into the game. What a call, huh? So yeah, it's always fun to hit a bet that quick. All right, so with this game, and we're guessing without knowing which goalies are starting, which I think is fine. I mean, whatever. Um, I actually kind of like the Red Wings in this game just based on how bad the Leafs have been playing. But aside from getting the obvious out of the way, with the top three guys, like I said, for long shots, I like Cohen. I always have trouble picking long shots for the Red Wings, like Comfer, Cop. JVR's fine. He's actually been really good this year. I don't know why, but Reemsdyke's been good. And then I usually like Tavares. He doesn't like me this year, but I still like Tavares. But this is a game, I don't know. I almost feel like this is a good game to avoid. Aside from, I would probably just go with the three chalky guys if you want anyone from this game. I'm not saying pick all three of them, but this is a game that it's kind of hit or miss. And then take any Avs, stack them, base them. McKinnon's minus 120, which I still think is fine to bet him in a single, obviously. I've seen a lot of people lately like betting him in their money lines and stuff, which I don't particularly like taking money lines, but in this case, if you want better odds, I guess that's all right. Minus 152 still isn't that great though for a two-leg parlay that you need them to win by two or more. And then obviously Necas Nelson. Necas is hot again. Nelson's finally down. His odds are finally down to earth. Valerie got in a car accident, I think, the other day. I don't even know if he's going to play today. Do they have him listed on here? He has substance abuse issues, and of course, there was like all these jokes about him, like as to why he got in the accident, but I don't think that's funny. Addiction is bad. Yeah, and then I mean, literally, I don't care what Av player you take, aside from like the ones I've never heard of. Like, I mean, even Gerard I think is fine, but if you want my two main long shots are these two guys, and then the mid shot, I don't know, is that what we call it? Is Burns at 490. So I think the Avs should pretty easily handle the Ducks in this game. I I don't think I wouldn't feel confident on a first goal just because literally anyone could score in this game, and I just don't know. It wasn't like the Kings yesterday with Kempe. I really, really, really liked him, which is why I mentioned him. Want to go out too? All right, Flyers and Mammoth. So you see the under is plus money and the over is minus 140. However, it's only 5.5. But I do think this game clears that pretty easily. As we know, Gunther's been great this year. Wow, I like those odds too. That's actually kind of interesting because he's at home and he's plus 170. So yeah, him and Schmaltz. Keller, to be honest, I don't even know why he's listed this low, even though Gunther's technically lower than him actually. Um, hmm. So this is just how I think, but you see how the Flyers odds are so high? I just think it's interesting. They're just really baity, and that usually just means they're not going to score much. but that's just how my brain works. It's could be completely not true. Um, so they're gonna tempt you into taking them if you have these good. FanDuel obviously probably has better odds than other books. But yeah, so I'd be careful with them. But obviously Travis, I'm not even that confident in Zegras. He had his like little run, but he's really tapered off. So I actually wouldn't even really feel that confident in him scoring today. So I would stick with Gunther and Schmaltz, and I do like Gunther for two, and Schmaltz obviously. Almost anyone I take in a single, 99.9% of the time, I also take for two, unless it's like a guy that's plus 1,000. Then it's like it's hard enough for them to score one goal, but two, yeah, and they might even offer it too. Usually on the really high odd guys, they don't offer two goals, but those two would be my favorite in this game for sure. And then if you want a first goal, Gunther, I would go Gunther. But these are just so hard to hit, so don't have to take it. Door. It's kind of nice out though. Who is this? Islanders and Kraken. So once again, the unders plus money. Seattle. Seattle's always tough. Duclair is hot. Man, the Islanders must have a lot of injuries because I don't see their main guys. But for Seattle, I do like Eberle and Matty. And then Duclair. I know a lot of people have been on Schaefer lately, but I'm kind of iffy on him. And then longer shot. I had Casey pick the last game, and for whatever reason, if they don't score the next game, they almost always score, and obviously there's no guarantee. But if you want like a semi long shot, I like Casey. Other than that, this game kind of sucks, I'll be honest. Schwartz used to be great, but he's plus 420. Wow. So these three for sure I would focus, and then Casey if you want a long shot in this game. Ooh, Montour. That's right, he came back from injury recently. I'd wait on him, see if he scores first before. I mean, you could take him, but I wouldn't recommend him. Okay, once again, the under is plus money. That's interesting. You usually don't see this many games with plus money unders. So they're projecting some high scoring games today. I mean, that's good. It's a small slate, but that's good that the books are liking the scoring in these games. So to get the obvious out of the way, Crosby, you can always take Crosby, Rust, or Raquel in like any Penguin game. I know he's been hurt this year a lot, so he's not a must pick. I believe he scored their last game. Um, Monta used to be a good pick, but I think this is what I'm saying too. So when someone's hurt, someone else has to pick up the slack, right? But since Raquel came back, well, they have a lot of defenders on injury. Oh, I see Coleman's hurt too. But since Raquel came back, now, you know, Anthony isn't scoring as much. And that's just how it goes. It's the same for basketball. When someone's hurt, someone else picks it up, they come back, and now, they play much less minutes or get much less shots. It's called usage. They get more usage, less usage, depending on the situation. So those three, and then Flames are home. See, once again, look at these odds. These odds are crazy. I always like Igor and Backlund, especially with who was hurt? Coleman's out. And he's a left wing. Yeah. I'd probably just say those two, but whoops. Kadri's fine. He's just been terrible this year. I think he scored his like ninth goal the last game. Like what? I don't understand. I would avoid this game. This is a game I would not pick from. That's what I would do. Like I say in baseball, you don't have to pick every game. And on these slates, now theoretically, aside from the Avs, the Caps should be one of the top picks today because of how bad the Canucks are now. So obviously Ovechkin. And let's see they still have a lot of injuries too. Pretty sure. Yeah, Wilson's still out. I don't really care about the Canucks injuries. I wouldn't take Canucks. Like Brock has been terrible this year. Pedersen's been good. He's probably the only guy I'd consider for them. And then obviously Jacob is great. Protoss, since he's come back, I know he hasn't done much. If you want, I think it's okay. Frank's been really good. This guy's been good. I actually prefer these like mid guys over like Strom and McMichael, but I think the Caps should win this game pretty easily. So even if you're trying to do like a money line parlay, I'm okay with their spread. But yeah, so I think that's fine. Their long shot guys suck. I wouldn't take any of them. Well, I mean like super long shot. Cool. So I would almost say Frank is like my favorite Cap right now. Frank and Jacob. Ethan Frank's been really good ever since all these injuries occurred. And those are nice odds for him too. 350. I think that was the last hockey game. Yeah, that's tomorrow. Okay. All right, let's move on to soccer. How long we got? 21 minutes. Nice. I kind of wanted to make a longer video just because why not? I haven't made a video in so long. So one of the first thing I look for in soccer when I want to make goal picks is heavy favorites. I know I've mentioned this before, but I will re-mention it. So both these teams are plus money. Both these teams are plus money. Bayern is minus 1,000. What a surprise! Oh my goodness. All right, so the way you do, aside from waiting on, hold on, soccer. What? Work. I don't know what the hell's going on. Oh, I already have it open. I'm so stupid. Holy crap. Okay, and then come on. Oreo said, let me in. All right, so I was gonna say we need to wait on starting lineups, so please wait for starting lineups. These games, my time, start at 1 p.m. So Eastern time, that's 3 p.m. I don't know what time zone everybody's in, but if you're like Midwest, then it's probably 2 p.m. So that means you're gonna wait till approximately 1 hour before the start time. You're gonna click summary. Right here is gonna say lineups. You're gonna click on that, and then it's gonna show you the lineup. So I'll illustrate to you what that looks like. So this has like 6 things because the game's over, so keep that in mind. But so when you click lineups, this Bayern is going to be on this side because they're home, and you're going to see who's starting. So if Kane's up front, great. If he's not starting, which is a complete possibility when they're huge favorites against a bad team, whoever is in this first spot, you are going to bet 2 and 3 goals. No shitting you. Whenever Kane doesn't start, and this isn't just for Bayern Munich. This is like whenever a top goal scorer, or not whenever. A lot of the times when a top goal scorer doesn't start and another guy gets a chance in place of him, he scores a hat trick, and I never take advantage of it. So this time we are going to if it happens. So if Diaz wouldn't be up top there. It would be, I don't even know. Let's see the last time. Let's look at the last time Kane didn't start and who started up front. Line up. Started there. Line up. He started there. Look at that, like 8-1. That's crazy. Oh, hi Gracie. What's up? Man, he's been starting every game. which kind of leads me to believe he won't start today because they're probably going to give him a little bit of a break. But he will probably play. But this is actually surprising because they usually don't start every game. Here it is. Jackson, Action Jackson. You know what's funny about this is he came into the game in the 60th minute and scored a hat trick. Harry Kane did. That's actually really funny. So that's a horrible example of what I was just trying to say. But hey, I do these raw, so this is that is actually really funny though. Man, that's crazy. Starts okay, so he didn't start here. Uh, oh well, we'll just wait to see. They usually do start, but not always. All right. So obviously you don't want to bet minus 270 one goal unless you're a high roller. Great, do it. So you could take him for two, take him for three. Um, and depending on the lineups, so we don't know. Like, not all these guys are going to start. Like, Jackson's minus, Jamal's minus, Diaz is minus. All these guys are minus. Now, one guy that is not minus that I really like is Surge. And okay, where do you like see? Gracie, do you want to go out? Go ahead, go outside. Go outside. Um, One long shot guy that stands out to me, if he's starting, is Kimmich, plus 450. Promise David. Has he? That name's familiar, but I don't remember him being on Bayern. Interesting. All right. So I think basically what we need to do is wait on the starting lineup, and then I will post all my picks in Discord. That's one thing I should have mentioned at the beginning of the video. For whoever's new here, is that all my picks are completely free, and I don't charge a dime. Blah blah blah. Like, don't pay. Never ever pay for picks. I'm gonna just say it. I'm gonna be honest. You're stupid if you pay for picks. And yeah, I like being honest. So, um, but basically, we need to wait for the lineup just to get an idea. Um, but I do like Elise and Surge. I like the plus money on them. And then any of these guys that you take for one, you can take all. You can also take for two if you want. Like, even their two. Look how low odds their two goals are. Like, it's when you're a heavy favorite, that's just how they do it though. So kind of crappy. I can't really make picks on here because we don't know the starting lineup. Oh well. What else is there today? Atalanta. They've been better lately, and since they're at home, I still like them. They're just kind of hard to pick. Skamaka got hot. Skamaka got hot. I was like Charles. I think if this is their main striker, Nicola, then obviously you could take him. But this isn't really a team that you need to go heavy on. Pasalic. What team is he on? Some players have been moving to new teams lately, so now I'm just like confused. They do have Pasalic. Interesting. So for a longer shot, I actually do like him. Huh. But once again, depends on the lineup. So I think we'll actually skip soccer, and then I'll just post who I like on Discord and go from there. But the main guys, Walter Nicholas, as I call him, because I don't know how to say these guys' names. And then obviously Kane. I would probably assume, as long as he starts, I would take him for two just to get the plus odds. And then This is just like a super quick parlay that I'm gonna make just because I can. Oh, Barcelona plays today too? What the hell? Okay, I see you. I would go Rafinha instead of Robert just because his odds are better. You could if as long as Kane and Rafi start, you could parlay them for two. Just do two and two, parlay them in a two-legger. I think that's fine. As long as they start. He's been really good lately, and I like those odds. Plus 420. Haha, blaze it up. All right. And like I said, I haven't looked at NBA today, so this is just raw dogging it. Let's go here. So once again, injuries are really important in the NBA. One of the main reasons I don't like betting NBA is because they a lot of the time they announce injuries like minutes. It feels like minutes before the game starts. I think by rule they have to do it like 30 minutes prior. Um, but if you're fucking working or doing something, you're out doing something, you can't always pay attention to it. And then it'll just be like, oh, Donovan Mitchell's out today. Oh, sorry. But it's like, I don't know, it's just annoying. And it gets on my nerves. Like, I wish they would make a rule of like 2 or 3 hours ahead of time. And it just makes it difficult to bet on. I didn't know Garland was hurt. See, this is why this is important to look at. With Garland and even Merrill, like I think he was actually playing really well. Look at that, 22, 20, 14. So with that said, I do like Mitchell a lot today, actually, which is now thinking about his odds probably suck for points. Yeah, he's minus 125 for 30. But yeah, so I actually do like that. And one of the only things I like doing, what the hell is this year is just betting like points basically. Because of the new rules, like players are scoring a lot this year. So I'm just kind of making this on the fly. But the Knicks have been absolute dog shit lately. Even Brunson's plus money. Wow. I mean, okay. Sure, why not? And then obviously Shea for 30. So just simple as that. I think that would be okay. Take anyone out you don't like. Blah blah blah. But NBA is just kind of bad lately. Um Also triple doubles, I would be careful with those. They've really, really fallen off. I know Luca finally got one yesterday, but people in my Discord keep betting triple doubles, and they're just not happening right now. So I would really be really really careful with those. Trying to see if I like anything. Like if you think the Knicks are the Knicks the Knicks are still gonna struggle, um, take the Nets money line, take their plus 11 and a half. Celtics should win that. The Hornets could very well cover that spread or win this game. The Cavs are playing better though. I will say that. I'll give them credit for that. The Hawks have been atrocious since McCollum came there, so I do like the Grizzlies, especially if Ja plays. Obviously, the Pistons should win that game. The Thunder, they should win this game pretty easily. So for the most part, like they're plus 100 to win the title. I still like the Nuggets, by the way, if you want better odds. These games are weird. What are you whining about back there? Celtics should win that pretty easily. Yeah, I just don't. I never feel confident in the NBA these days, but that's what I kind of like. I guess since I just noticed this, one thing I'll mention is golf. This tournament starts tomorrow, I believe, right? Yeah, tomorrow's Thursday. So Pay attention to Scotty. He's always really, really solid pick. That's why the odds are so crazy. Like, look at the difference between the favorite and the second favorite. Um, One thing I'll say is you don't have to bet him pre-tournament because he tends to start off slow and then he comes on, the last couple days. But you can. I mean, honestly, plus 300 for him is pretty good. Some pre-tournaments he's like plus 200, plus 150. But what you can do is you hope he kind of has a bad start and then his odds go up plus 500 or more, plus 400 or more, and then you bet him and you live bet him. Um, and then if there's any promos, obviously you can boost him or whatever. But I'm not saying to bet him every tournament, but you can. And yeah, I think he's gonna have a really good season this year. Last year he didn't win his first tournament for in the first couple months, but I'm feeling like this year he gets off to a hot start. So pay attention to Scotty is all I'm saying. Just be careful betting golf. Golf is kind of the only reason I like pre tournament is it's obviously every tournament's 4 days. You just bet it and forget it. Don't even look at it. Just chill, you know, and wait till Sunday and see if he wins. All right. I think okay. Can't forget about the NFL. Um, Quick pointers. Now, don't just automatically count the Broncos out. They're still playing at home. I This is just a classic example of like, oh, the Patriots are gonna kill them. I mean, it's still gonna be a tough game. They still like them to cover 5.5 because it is favored. Now, with that said, I do like. We all know I love picking my defenses. So plus 600 for. I'm sorry, wrong one. Denver's defense is plus 7. Ah, that is the right one. What am I thinking? Because Denver starting Stidham. He used to Stidham used to be on New England, so that's the team that drafted him, by the way. So he wants to beat them, right? But yeah, I do like their defense. Can take them for. I mean, if you want to go crazy and take them for first and 2 touchdowns, I'm fine. Oh, that's last. Whatever 2 touchdowns is listed, I think it's fine because the odds will be really nice. But yeah, go with that, and then I'll let you guys decide who's going to score a touchdown. But I'll say Henry, and then maybe May will rush one in. But Denver's defense is still decent. I know it hasn't been that great lately. Okay, and then I like Sutton because they're probably gonna have to air it out if they're struggling to run because they're gonna focus. They're gonna focus the run game because they're gonna force Stidham to throw. Therefore, he's gonna throw a pick six, and you're all gonna become rich. There you go. That's how my mind thinks when betting. And then the other game, to be honest, I don't really know. This game, I think Seattle wins. Obviously, being at home. Walker, holy crap, is minus 170. And that's because Charbonnet is out for the rest of the year. He's I forgot what his injury was, but he hurt. And then if you want, I think he's fine for 2 as well. Obviously, he scored 3 in the last game, but don't think of it that way. Oh, he scored 3 last game. He's going to score 3 again. Yeah, no, that's not how it works. The coach and the coach is well aware that they don't want to become super predictable, but I still think he could score 2 in this game pretty easily. Um, Once again, the Rams should be. I do like Williams to score. He's always a good pick. The Rams should be throwing the ball though, which honestly, I'm not as confident in this, but I think Seattle's defense is okay. But this game definitely is not going to be like the other game where I'm much more confident in the Patriots to score a touchdown. Walker, oh yeah, I'm for 2. Shaheed, yeah, I mean, I don't mind Shaheed again. I don't know if he'll get another punt return, but could score a touchdown. And then these tight ends are always interesting, like Parkinson and is it Ferguson? Where is he? There he is. 550. Holy moly. Those are some odds. But I'd be most confident probably the running backs. And then Adams is where did he go? Holy crap. Jackson. But that's just my opinion and I'm sticking to it. So I think we got pretty much everything covered. I'll post a link to my Discord. Seems like 5 people like will join a week, 5 to 10 when I'm not making videos, and then 5 people will leave like the next day. Like I don't know. It's really weird, but it's no big deal to me. I just noticed that as a little observation. So I'll post the Discord link in the description. Just click on that, and it should give you an invite. Message me if it's broken. Sometimes it breaks for some reason. I don't know why. And I think we're good. Let's see what we got going on here. That's the Discord. We're talking some baseball. Just give you an example of hockey yesterday. Everyone was on Taylor Ward, and he scored his first goal of the year. There's me at Fiala. I had Kempe first goal. Kempe anytime goal. So that alone paid $265 on a $60 wager. One other thing I'll mention if you're still watching is don't be deceived by all these wins. Like this isn't well, that's a bad example. Like, we don't know what he bet, which I think is fine. Hide your bet size if you want. But like just because he posts this one thing doesn't mean he's up $500. Like if you're like this gentleman here, he posts a lot of wins every day, but we don't actually know what he's up or down. It looks like you're betting a lot of people. Here's my Tarasenko 2 goals plus 2,500. And then I had another mention is Ryan Hartman on the Wild. Sorry, I forgot to mention him. Hartman and Tarasenko are very good picks with Eck and Boldy out. Or I should have mentioned him. But yeah, I will post soccer in a little bit and hockey. And I made that NBA parlay, so you can do that if you want the 30-point one. I probably won't post any NBA, so I just don't. I don't like NBA right now this year at all. 0%. But if I really see something I like, I'll post it. And with that said, y'all have a great day, afternoon, and evening, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.